So looking at the slide, well, that's my face. My name is David. If you, for those of you who do not know me, I've been with ARE more than 11 years and about 5 years in my current role as the CEO of the organization. We can go to the next slide. Thank you. And then the agenda for today, well, you see it in front of you. The idea is to go a little bit according to our service lines. So we have the general opening from my side. So I'll walk you through a bit harder today. And then we look into BD, into training, into policy, into comms works or for service lines. And we'll have some testimonials from Sharka, if I say that correctly. I'm sorry if I mix it up. And then Nicolas, who is also one of our board members, followed by Q&A and a closing by Deepak that you have just seen before. Next slide. Well, global electrification stats, these numbers are rather resistant. They are below numbers, you know that. I mean, there's more and more access, but there's also a higher and higher population growth. So at the end of the day, we still have 685 million without power and 1.5 billion with an acceptable level of quality, which is, of course, the overall challenge that we are trying to address. Next slide. As the ARE, excuse my voice, I have a little bit of a cold here in Europe. It's a little bit fresh these days. ARE, we are the International Business Association, as I'm sure you know by now, for the distributed or decentralized renewable energy industry. We focus exclusively on emerging markets, and so our targets are to help private sector build 500 million electricity access connections, and in so doing create many green jobs as well as avoid CO2 emissions. So really those three targets. We are active since about 20 years, almost 20 years. Next year, or in a year and a half, we'll do the 20-year celebration. We are primarily active in sub-Saharan Africa. But we are also active in South and Southeast Asia, especially in the last 2 years. We have really added that region as really central to our approach. And so with a nice growth in that part of the world as well. Last but certainly not least, Latin America. This is so far more sporadic if we see a nice cooperation opportunity, but certainly in the Caribbean, as well as in certain South American countries, we see a lot of scope to scale up. Next slide, please. So this is what it's all about. You, the members that are dialing in also in greater numbers. I see now in the participant list. Thank you for that. The members at ARE. So ARE, what you have to keep in mind, it's always an interesting sort of animal because we have an unusual setup in the sense that we are mission driven, in the sense that we are federated, that we are a big tent organization. So we are distributed renewables in emerging markets. This means we have solar companies, but also small hydro, bioenergy, small wind, so the different generation technologies. We have then storage companies, components companies, so, you know, for the different moving parts, let's say, of any system. And then in terms of job types, there's a lot of developers, this is the majority of our membership, but also a larger amount by now of investors, as well as hardware manufacturers, such as our latest leading member, ComAp. So you see that this mix is quite heterogeneous. It's not just solar, it's not just mini grids, but it's all of the above. And why? Because it's already niche enough. And we need and we want to scale, and we want to use the ARE as a platform to help you do business in as many places and as many use cases as you can. First and foremost for classic electrification, and more also again to the ABC business model with larger productive uses in the region, also industries or social infrastructure. So really wherever your technology can fit and provide a concrete solution, this is what we want to help you with, and help you on the policy level, help you on the business level, and on the capacity building level. Next slide, please. So these are the member logos. Your logo should all be there. You're of course welcome to let us know if that's not the case, but we did double check before this webinar. So here, this really, I like that slide a lot because it shows the diversity of the companies that we have, from the NGs and the Schneiders to startups. Like or smaller entities like a smart villages, like a Landforce, like an H2. So it's really a nice combination, and you see some logos that have been there for many years, for which we thank you very much, such as the Asantyses, the Adas, the Uptakes, the Ankas. These have been there for a Wuppertal also for 5 if not 10 years at least. So this is really fantastic to see that. Together, these members number to 200 and are active in 55 national markets across 3 continents, so Africa, Asia. Next slide, please. Here is a bit of a sneak peek. So we haven't, don't have our 24 annual report yet because 24 is still happening, but we wanted for especially today already give you some figures to give you an indication in which way it's going. So here we collected your feedback from a lot of our companies about some of the key metrics that we like to see. Yeah? So for example, we have in terms of general satisfaction is extremely important. So how happy are ARE members with us? I'm happy to say that this year has also been a record response of about 50 members that have actually completed our survey from start to finish. And so here we have therefore derived a average satisfaction level of 81% with the services. So this is really nice, and I take the opportunity to congratulate both our board as well as our team to let's say achieve this sort of beautiful levels. Of course, we strive to do better up to 100%. You see that in terms of the events. I'll come back on the circles. In terms of the events, these numbers year after year are climbing quite dramatically. For those of you who have been at our rather astonishing investment forum, astonishing in all respects, investment forum in Lagos, Nigeria this year, this has been amazing. 650 people on site. Nobody's done that before or since. And this is again thanks to the power of our combined membership. So in total amount of participants at our events in 24 so far are 4,500. We estimate at least, and this is a very conservative estimate of connections. This means business meetings, and have, based on the surveys that we have collected, a 93% satisfaction score out of that. Turning to our capacity building programs, they're all told between technical training, investment readiness training for our startups and SMEs. We have trained about 3,500 practitioners to date, including through a TOT approach. So this is really a really beautiful sort of program with our investment academies that some of you will definitely recognize, as well as our core and Kira and such trainings. Across all our communications, so you have the weekly alert, you have the newsletter, you have our social media channels, plural. This is something that we've invested a lot in, because the more subscribers that we have across the board, the more impact it has when we relay your communiques, your press releases, your case studies. And so now we are at over 60,000 subscribers across the board. So this is really important figure, I think, also for the communications colleagues that are on the line here, the marketing colleagues on the line here today. I want to mention, and I think we can go to the next slide, the industry, the previous slide again, the membership circles. So this is in response, as I mentioned in the beginning, we have a big tent organization because we want that scale, because we want that internal B2B between our member companies, from suppliers to investors to developers. But we also want to make sure that each and every one of you, from the mini grid developer in Madagascar to the, let's say, battery company in Germany, that you are comfortable to also talk about your specific topics that are relevant for your subsegment of the industry. And therefore, we have created 3 specific circles. I will come back to that in a moment. That are really for us, by you, for you, and that ARV basically wants to be the platform for. So we organize the meetings and things like that, but we really give it to the members, to you, to take it if you're interested in it, and that you can talk about your subjects, that we can, take things out of that and include it in the ARE activity program, and really that we can address those specific needs on technology and manufacturing, on finance and investment, as well as on developers and EPC. So these are the three circles that are, you will see, chaired even by the relevant member companies. Here, what is this? The ARA Secretariat. Well, this is our team here in Brussels, as well as our topical and regional experts. I want to have a quick shout out as well on the last part there, because you see there Natasha Allen and Shaukat, respectively in Southeast and South Asia, are fer de lance, as you say in French, are really our front line to really help us develop our position, our relevance in the market. In Southeast Asia, there is no ASEAN ARE, so we want to be the ASEAN ARE there as well. Same for South Asia. And then, of course, in our Western Central Africa region, we have Catherine Mukubo, also with the Congolese Association, so based out of Kinshasa, who is driving a lot of the work there, and Eugenia Masvikeni out of South Africa for Southern and Eastern Africa. Next slide, please. Naturally, we have the members that are represented also at the top level of the association, which is the board of directors, under our president Alexis of GDS International, Camille and Christophe, Anka and Schneider. I'm sure these faces are quite familiar to you. And then we have board members you see from across the board, different types of technologies, different types of jobs, different investors. As well, I think now, if I'm just counting them spontaneously, Schneider is, I think, at least half of it investment. You see Lin, you see Yeva, you see Maud, all of that is investors. And then you have developers like the companies like the NGs, and also one now from reflecting also our increased engagement in Asia, our board member from Malaysia, Ayu. So you see that there's really a nice, let's say, balance from technologies, from type of business, from geography, and in gender. I want to point out that we are the only association that I'm aware of that has such a balance across the board, including at the gender level. This is something we take great pride in. Next slide, please. Well, the circles, I will not repeat what we mentioned. I just want to perhaps add that if you are not yet part of one of these circles and you would like to be, please, by all means, we welcome that. And so just let us know, to me, to any of my colleagues, and we will make sure that you can be included in the different circles here. And thank you to the chairs, to the members that are chairing these circles. Next slide. I think, Deepak, is that the end of my chit chat, or no, this is still part of mine, I believe, and then we'll pass it over to you. So here, I mentioned in the agenda, we structured the agenda for today according to these member services. And so the different colleagues who are spearheading these services will, let's say, guide you, I suppose, through the different, what it concretely means. How can you concretely make use of ARE today? So I'll stop talking now. Thank you so much for being here. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Sean, and pass it over to my colleague, Deepak. Wish you a wonderful webinar. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, David. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everyone who has dialed in from all over the world. My name is Deepak. I'm the Senior Officer, Business and Market Development at ARE. Been here with the organization since more than 5 years now, working with, of course, all of you and different markets and projects. So as David mentioned, the main objective of organizing this webinar is to offer you a refresher to catch you up to the speed with what are the concrete benefits and how best you can utilize the membership services that ARE has to offer in order for you to achieve your market and business ambitions. So without further ado, my task today would be to present you the business development and market intelligence. If we go to the next slide, please. Yeah. how you can best unlock the business potential with ARE membership benefits. Number one, we offer our members the round-the-year benefits and opportunities to be supported through our weekly alerts, through our different member spotlights emails, through our different matchmaking opportunities, the in-country, in-region, and topical and international forums that we organize, business delegations that we organize to events where ARE is one of the major stakeholders or partners, as well as our virtual events and capacity building workshops. Now, when it comes to the matchmaking services, I am more than happy to mention that we offer, let's say, direct B2B and B2F, business to business and business to finance matchmaking at ARE, of course, through our different services, through the membership portal, etc. But also it's further expanded to B2G and B2C, so business to client customer, business to government during our flagship events when we organize the one-on-one matchmakings. Now, we at ARE also advocate and support members to members engagement, hence why we have created different working groups and circles in order for our members to, first of all, come together under one roof and interact among each other and find out the best possible ways to cooperate with each other instead of working in silos to support the energy access and clean energy transition goals worldwide. Now, how to also emphasize more members to members engagement? First of all, through our website, we have our membership portfolio whereby you can see all the business profiles of the members. You can see how they are distinguished between different, let's say, in terms of different regions, in terms of different technologies, in terms of different business models, in terms of different fields of technologies that they are working in different geographical regions as well. You can best use the portfolio of all ARE members on our website in order to find out who would be the best point of contact that you would like to reach out to. And when that is the case, you have your business profile as well, along with the login credentials that have been shared with you, that is currently being handled by the company representative of your company. So once you are logged in on our website, you will be able to see who the main contact person in the choice of the company or the organization that you would like to reach out to. And based on that, you can choose directly to get in touch with them, or you can also come back to your key account manager at ARE. In this case, the key account manager, to give you a quick explanation, from the association side, from the ARE side, we have a key account manager who is responsible for you as a member. From your side, we have company representative, CR, and deputy company representative, DCRs. So this is a method or an exercise through which we maintain a concrete channel of communication between the association and the members so that we can offer all the relevant information to the members, and then the members have a chance to act on it. In addition to that, you would also have a chance to be part of the ARE LinkedIn group, which is reserved only for members in order to interact among themselves, in order to ask questions, raise concerns, offer opportunities, etc., etc. Now, in the next slide, we will go deep into what are these, let's say, opportunities. I will start with the weekly alert. Now, please pay attention, dear colleagues. Every Friday, every week, directly to your inbox, you receive a weekly digest of upcoming opportunities that can be beneficial for you. We call it as weekly alert. Over the early days of the week, we collect all the latest opportunities in terms of tenders, procurement, projects, events, special discounts in order for our members to be part of them, information regarding access to funding, information regarding jobs, sector news, publication, white papers, and all the relevant information in the DRE sector are being consolidated by ARE and being presented to you and your colleagues every Friday, every week, directly to your inbox. One very specific encouragement that we would like to offer to you would be, please always stay on top of the weekly alert and never miss it, because you might never know which of these opportunities that might be coming to your inbox would be beneficial for you if you act on it. So we always encourage proactivity from our members so that they can stay on top of the communications that ARE sends, and then act on them to be able to gain maximum mileage. Now, in the next slide, we will talk about our latest initiative called Member Spotlight. Now, what happens with the Member Spotlight is we invite, let's say we invite a call for expressions from our members who would like to showcase what they have to offer, in this case, to other members or in the sector itself. And then based on that, a selection take place, and we launch these Member Spotlight emails to all our members so that they can get to see what other members have to offer, and if and when they would be able to collaborate together. So in order to achieve more members to members engagement and projects and realize and implement on-ground projects, we have created this new Member Spotlight benefit for our members. If you would like to be part of the next edition, here's the QR code. The slides, of course, will be placed on ARE website. And of course, in due time, you will receive the email communication from our comms department regarding your expression of interest. So please feel free to send us, and we can then include you in the next edition. In the next slide, we will talk about events. Now, I mentioned in my first slide that to engage with ARE and in the DRE sector, we organize and support different events. As you can see, the bold ones on this list are the events which are organized by ARE, and or part of which are organized by ARE. And then the non-bold ones are the events where ARE is one of the major partners or stakeholders or being involved in any shape or form. So the first column is talking about those events, then the dates, then where the locations are, and then the last column talks about the opportunities that our members can benefit from. For example, in some occasions, it can take the shape of a free ticket. It can take a shape of discounts in terms of event access, in terms of exhibitions, in terms of speaking slots, in terms of business delegations, and so on. To some of the external events where ARE is one of the partners, often we organize business delegations. For example, Inlet Asia in October, it was one of the major events in Asian region, whereby we organized a delegation to, and about 7 or 8 members of ARE were mobilized together with us to that event in order to meet and greet with the like-minded individuals and companies and organizations, as well as public officials in the event, as well as ARE organized a closed-door meeting with the members to tap on what are the latest trends, as well as the needs and necessity of our members in order to scale up the impact of ARE in that region. So this is one example of how we organize business delegation to. Right now, as we speak, COP29 is going on in Baku, Azerbaijan, whereby ARE has also sent a delegation to, and this time it is represented by one of our board members, Ms. Ayu from ComAp. So similarly, whenever there are such opportunities, our members are being notified. And if you see one such opportunity or one such event where you would like to be part of, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, and we will do everything in our capacity to include and offer you the best possible access and opportunities in those events. Next slide. Here we would like to bring to your kind attention the flagship events organized and hosted by ARE. The first one is Energy Access Investment Forum. Now, this Energy Access Investment Forum has become the gold standard industry and investor event of the DRE sector since last 10 years, or 9+ years, I would say. And why I say that? It's because of the impact and the kind of a brand or a label that we have created as the organizer of EIF. Now, this EIF has become the top annual investment and industry event with an objective of bringing the investors and different stakeholders from the industry as well as public officials under one roof in order to scale investments in the renewable electrification sector, especially in the emerging markets. So on the right side of the screen, you're looking at the statistics from the Energy Access Investment Forum that occurred in Nigeria this year. and the statistics have already spoken about the impact that it has created. By far, it has become the biggest event in the country, with more than 2,100 people joining in, out of which 650 plus delegates were only on site. And more than 100 investors were part of that event. More than 90 countries were represented. About 300 or so direct one-on-one matchmaking took place, and a record 32 exhibition booths were positioned at that event. I'm happy to also let you know that next year, the Energy Access Investment Forum is going to happen in Kampala, Uganda on 8th to 10th of April 2025. So please mark your calendars and do reach out to us if you would like to be engaged there. There are multiple engagement opportunities in terms of exhibitions, sponsorships, participation, and so on. And the registrations will be launched shortly. Next slide talks about the technology side of things. So on one hand, we organized the flagship event on access to finance, and then this one is about access to technology, innovation, and engineering. So next year, around Q3, Q4, we are gearing up to organize our Innovation for Electrification Expo, which is going to be in one of the countries in Southeast Asia. With still to be decided, we are currently preparing and conceptualizing the same. And more or less, the major components of the flagship event is going to be focusing on exhibition, forum and panel discussion, networking and matchmaking between the stakeholders, different capacity building workshops, trainings, and initiatives, private meetings between the high-level stakeholders who would be involved, smart podiums to launch different products, different deals, and having discussions, innovation awards, receptions, and field trips, so on. All in all, with major key themes that we would be trying to tackle would be green energy transition, renewable electrification and electricity access, distributed renewables, energy storage, and lastly, commercial and industrial use of renewable energy. So those of you who we have managed to intrigue the interest of and would like to be part of this, please do not hesitate to send me an email or WhatsApp. We'll be happy to be in touch to see how we can explore potential cooperation with regards to this Innovation for Electrification Expo. On the next slide, I would like to hand over to my colleague, Mr. Jens Jäger, to take you through the capacity building side of things at ARE. Jens, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deepak. Yes, on the capacity building activities of ARE, I think this is an area where ARE has expanded quite a lot recently. We generally offer two types of capacity building that we can see here on the slide. One is access to finance. So it's no secret that DRE companies often face challenges in raising finance. We have in particular launched the Investment Academy series to this end, which has focused on helping our members achieve later stages of investment. It can be on various topics related to access to finance, so pitch deck writing, business model development, and also with concrete matchmaking with investors. We also have organized Rural Electrification masterclasses, which have been broader, so on exchanging knowledge from different business models and challenges for ARE members. All of that has been is a newer service line that we've launched exclusively for the members. A second type of training we are conducting is more focused on technology and innovation. So we have two initiatives in that regard. One is CORE, which trains practitioners, communities, and governments on technical aspects of rural education. So that can be system design, installation, operations of mini-grids, for example. And the second one, which is GEAR, which also focuses on, let's say, technical assistance to utilities and how to integrate DRE with the main grid. So those are two concrete examples. If we move to the next slide, there are some details on the investment academies. So as said, so far we've focused especially on earlier stage companies, MSMEs from Africa in particular, offering a training on business development and access to finance, along with exposure to international investors. We've so far trained about 200 participants from about 100 SMEs. And those trainings have been both Pan-African, as well as some of them country-specific. For example, in Mozambique, Eswatini, and we're also envisioning that in additional countries. So yeah, when you receive the slides deck from my colleagues, you can access more information about the Investment Academy on the link at the bottom. We also have a new iteration of that training program coming up starting beginning of next year. So do stay tuned for more information on that. You're of course always welcome to write to us to get more details as well. Then coming to the next slide, the Core and Gear initiative. So Core has been launched, has been running for a few years now. It was launched in 2021, I believe. As said, it really focuses on training off-grid practitioners, and it does so mainly through a training of trainers approach, focusing on system design, installation, and operation, especially of mini-grids. We initiated that program actually based on a survey with the members, where 70% of our members said that they face challenges in finding local skilled staff, and that's why we responded with this initiative. So far, we've trained about 3,000 practitioners in more than 15 countries. We are always open to discuss this also on a case-by-case basis with members on how we can collaborate on trainings in specific countries or regions. A second initiative, which is much newer, which is still in its infancy, is the Gear initiative, which is about how we can support utilities and governments to increase the efficiency, reliability, and resilience of grids. And in particular, there's an emphasis in that program on coupling distributed renewables with the main grid, and let's say mainstreaming also distributed renewables in the grid sector. So yeah, those are two concrete training programs that we're the 3 concrete training programs we're currently running, so Investment Academies, Core, and Gear. I'll perhaps stop there, and we can move over to my colleague Otto on the policy and advocacy services. Thank you.
Thank you, Jens. Hello, everyone. I'm Otto Neidert, Policy and Advocacy Assistant. Today, I will guide you through a set of services and projects that we are currently working on as part of the Policy and Advocacy Department. Before that, let me introduce you to the mission, which is providing you an enabling environment that can allow you to scale up your work in emerging markets. We target with key policy and advocacy messages donor governments, policymakers, and international funding organizations. And we do so through 2 main approaches. Next slide, please. So the first approach is by targeting these actors directly in collaboration with our partners that can be regional and national associations. And the second way, if you would like, is by providing our members with the opportunities and tools to reach out to these major stakeholders themselves. COP, as mentioned by my colleague Deepak, before is a great opportunity for this, since ARE is an accredited observer organization by the UNFCCC. This means that every year we have access to a number of tickets through which we can join the Blue Zone and engage in the conference. So we do participate as ARE Secretariat within our team, but also enable our members to participate in the event themselves. This year, for example, in Baku, Azerbaijan, 10 of our members are currently participating in the conference, which is an invaluable opportunity to share learnings, insights, and your work, but also to network, engage more with governments and other stakeholders in driving sustainable energy access forward while mitigating climate change. So participation at events is a major tool we use to promote our messages and raise the voice of our sector. But it's not the only one. Next slide, please. So we also work on knowledge products. So ARE researches, drafts, and publishes position papers, key recommendations and toolkits, but also collection of case studies and best practices on various topics related to renewable electrification. And members collaborate on these products by sharing case studies or insights through bilateral meetings or answering to our service. And to make these publications more dynamic, we often work on topical campaigns. Next slide, please. Where we bring forward to a wide audience these publications and the work of our members. And for instance, in 2023, we partnered with the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, KAS, to assess the number of green jobs that the RE can generate in West Africa, focusing on Ghana and Senegal. So this led to the drafting and publishing of a report, which was disseminated through various ways. We organized public-private dialogues, one in Ghana, one in Senegal, and a virtual regional one, where we invited ARE members, national associations, government representatives, and also universities. This was coupled with a media campaign. So we disseminated our key findings through in-country newspapers, international newsletters, but also radios, selecting the best source according to their audience. Next slide, please. Further examples relate to the ProbaMet project and the EU ARE industry consultations. So ProbaMet stands for Partnership for Responsible Battery Management and Metal Recycling. It's a partnership of actors which aims to improve battery recycling in Nigeria, raise labor and environmental standards, and establish sustainable trade flows for raw materials. This is an ambitious goal which we pursue with very concrete actions together with our partners. We have conducted field visits to assess recycling plants in Nigeria, assessing their battery management standards. We also published a positive listing with the best recycling facilities in Nigeria for all actors to read them. And we also organized workshops and trainings with national stakeholders in Nigeria, including government authorities and plant managers, to advocate for best practices and policy changes. To make this message more broad, we also drafted a circularity guideline, which addresses all DRE actors across the entire value chain and sets minimum standards on end-of-life battery management, which is fundamental to protect the safety of plant workers, but also neighboring communities and the environment. We thus call all actors to read the guidelines, which can be accessed through the following QR code, and endorse the guidelines, which would mean committing to implement these minimum standards in daily operations within 2 years. If you are interested in the project, contact us, because at the end of March, we will also be organizing a final conference or event in Nigeria on the key results and outcomes of this project. The other side of our work is focused on the EU. Since we are based here in Brussels, we obviously seek to target the European Commission and European institutions more broadly by amplifying your voice and speaking as one for all of our members and highlighting the potential of investments in the sector. We speak to the European Commission directly through the GGBAG, or Global Gateway Business Advisory Group, which provides us as an opportunity to address the European Commission directly, and where we advocate for the EU to expand the blended finance instruments, to expand its impact investment facilities, market development programs, and renewable energy technology and innovation funds. We also worked with the EU in country in emerging markets through the EU delegations to create new private sector driven markets, helping to remove barriers and attract private investment. In particular, in 8 African countries, we supported the EU delegation in identifying and formulating future DRE interventions in the energy sector, with a particular focus on Nigeria and Congo. So the policy and advocacy work is an ongoing process where all of our colleagues at ARE have a voice, have a say, and opportunities constantly unfold. We work to support you in your work and scale up your activities. And we thus invite you to reach out to us, expressing key concerns, needs, and ideas regarding government's role in the DRE sector, and we will be working to amplify your voice and for it to reach the most relevant audience. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Okan, and I am working as a Communications and Marketing Officer at ARE. It has been about 3 years and a half since I joined. So I would like to give some more information on the nexus of all these previous service lines my colleagues mentioned. So we can start with the comms and marketing activities. Next slide, please. So it works, communications and marketing at ARE works both ways actually. So one way is, of course, our task and our objective is to keep ARE members up to date with ARE's activities, but also news and developments from the sector, distributed renewable energy sector, and also the opportunities and tenders, procurements, events, and everything you can think of, so that ARE members don't do much effort to keep up to date, and we do it for them. And another way is that we receive the information from you actually, from ARE members, and we disseminate this information in the wider sector. For example, these can be your projects, your achievements, the tenders you open, funding opportunities you open, or like funding rounds, or the press releases you publish. So all these can be shared with ARE, and we are happy to disseminate this through the sector. This way we amplify your success and your place in the sector, and this maybe brings more projects to you and more networking opportunities, matchmaking opportunities for you. So these two ways is how we work at ARE. In the next slide, we will see one of our main products, ARE Job Platform. Here you can see a screenshot on the right side of the slide. The idea is very basic. We created this job platform for ARE members to publish their jobs because we have a vast audience from Africa, from Asia, Latin America, who are all kind of related to this sector, right? So there are also students, newly graduates, skilled people, more experienced people, and there's always this circulation in the sector. So we would like that ARE members get the best applications for their vacancies and get the best candidates and employ right people for their jobs. Of course, to publish vacancies is free for ARE members, but for non-members, we take a small fee. So I suggest you make use of this platform basically by contacting your key account manager or directly me or my colleague Link, and we will help you happily to publish your job. And even if you don't, we usually keep an eye on your company websites and social media, and when we see a vacancy, we publish it ourselves. In the next product from comms department will be the newsletter. ARE newsletter is a bi-monthly newsletter we have been sending out for a long time. This is really keeping the pulse of the sector. We send it out 6 times a year. As you can see, we already sent out 5 editions this year. The last one was in October on digitalization, and the next one is coming on DRE impact on SDGs. It's very easy to be part of this bi-monthly newsletter, and of course it's free of charge for members again. My colleague Ling usually sends out a form to fill in. In this form, you just send us your subject, your article, basically what it will be on, and if it's related to the theme, we get back to you asking for the more details and article itself. So this form is sent to you usually a month before the publication date of the newsletter. So we suggest you keep an eye on this kind of communications from my colleague Link. In the next slide, we can see related to the newsletter, there's also i4E webinar series, which we started about 2 years ago. It's a great success. As my colleague Deepak mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, we are doing business to customer communications also, business to customer link. So this is one of the concrete examples of that. You can be a speaker and you can do your pitch deck in our webinar series by again expressing your interest through the form that my colleague Link sends. So we usually have this webinar series connected to the newsletter, so it usually happens one day after the newsletter. But you can see we have 6 newsletters, but 5 i4E webinar series. Why? Because Energy Access Investment Forum is already covering the investment newsletter. So we have 5 other webinar series here. So I suggest you to really make use of this opportunity and show your product and services to great audience. We also keep the recording on our YouTube channel, on our LinkedIn, so it's really everlasting impression on the sector. I would like to talk about in the next next slide. I would like to give more information on one of the new exciting tool we are launching. So ARE tender platform, we listened to the feedback from ARE members and we decided to come up with a tenders platform in addition to the tender section we are doing on our weekly alert. So the weekly alert tender section and opportunity sections, they will continue being updated weekly, but now we will have a ARE tenders platform on our website. So this is just under the knowledge center in the menu. You can already reach it, actually, it's online right now. Yeah, we will make the launch officially this week and next week. To give more information on this platform, you will have direct links to the sources of tenders that we are going to list. You will be able to filter them by region, by technology, by tender type. Of course, once the tender is expired, it will be removed from the system. This tender platform is exclusive for ARE members. It's a great added value for your membership. So therefore, you need to be logged in to the ARE website before accessing this platform. Normally, the company representatives all have the login credentials, but if you don't have for some reason, if you cannot log in for some reason, let us know, let me know, or your key account manager know that you cannot, and we will provide new login credentials. Through this tender platform, we are aiming that you can keep an eye on more tenders overall through filters and more targeted tenders for your business. So yeah, this is coming soon, also through new communications, but also we will talk about this on our next weekly alert. So next and the last slide for me for the comms department is social media. So you might be already following ARE social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, but I suggest you give us a like on all platforms, honestly. And what we do on LinkedIn, of course, we update you with our own activities, but also news from our membership base. So we have about 38,000 followers throughout all our channels. So if you have any news and projects and achievements you would like to share with us, we are happy to put it on our social media as well, and also to see what's going on with ARE and where our colleagues at and what are the latest activities. I suggest you also follow ARE social media. With this, I would like to close the comms and marketing section, and I think now we can pass to the next slide and my colleague Deepak.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Okan. Thank you, dear speakers, so far to walk our audience today through all the services and benefits that we offer as the industry association of your choice, if I may say that. So dear audience, until now, we talked about who ARE is and how we are doing everything in our might, in our capacity to offer you all the services and benefits so as to enable you to unlock your market and business potential and make use of our comms services to amplify your achievements. Now, we would take a moment to hear from our members, ComAp and Asantys, how they have been proactive in their day-to-day business to make use of ARE services and benefits to achieve the most. And please, after this testimonial round, we will go into the question and answer session. So I will moderate it. So if you have any questions, please make use of the chat function to let us know, and we will take the questions and answer them. So without further ado, let me invite Ms. Sharka Augustinova from ComAp to present her first testimonial. Sharka, the floor is yours. You have up to 5 minutes to present. Thank you.
Thank you for your invitation, Deepak. Good afternoon, good day to you all. It's a pleasure for us to present actually our experience with ARE. We are basically a leading member in ARE, and we are in for 1 year already. So basically, to introduce myself and ComAp, so I am external communication specialist at ComAp, leading also all our activities in hybrid microgrids and renewable energy sector in terms of coordination within our segments and groups at ComAp. So ARE is also one of my focus activities. And to introduce ComAp, what we do, we are not only a manufacturing company, as previously David mentioned, but it's our main focus. We design and deliver smart control solutions for power generation and energy management. But we also develop connected software that basically enables smart energy management that could be managed online from whenever customer need. So that's short intro about us and basically how we started our cooperation with ARE. At the beginning, we didn't know about ARE, and basically the connection happened at one of the conferences. One of our colleagues, Chris Pye, hybrid microgrid segment manager, basically met Deepak at Microgrid Global Innovation Forum in London last year. And then we continued our discussions, and we found out that ARE is a great fit to us. Why? Basically, we decided to join in because of ARE's great focus on Africa. We opened our subsidiary in South Africa in 2022. So it was a great opportunity how to further expand our cooperation with local authorities and other partners, other companies, and be proactive in the region. What's really good and what everybody says at ComAp about cooperation with ARE is that it's a great platform for knowledge sharing, but also for connecting with others, with other companies. So it's a great platform for learning what others do and how we can cooperate together. So we decided to be a leading member because the package that ARE provides was just very exciting. It includes already being one of the companies that is present and can have a promotion booth at EAIF in Africa. This year it was basically in Lagos, so we had both the speaking opportunity and also our booth. So it was a great spot to be presented and to start new relations. Then we had also other opportunities to participate in different events and networking opportunities. One of them was also a speaking opportunity at Digital Infra Power Summit in Nairobi in this September. Then we could be also part of ARE delegation at Enlit Asia. So my colleague even reported to me that the ARE delegation was of a great input to him, much greater than actually the exhibition itself. So that was his feedback, that really even the closed door meeting was very appreciative. Then we could be also part of ARE delegation to COP29 that is now happening in Baku. So one of our colleagues responsible for ESG agenda could be part of this event for just a couple of days. So I'm sure it was a great experience for her to participate in such an event that we wouldn't have any chance without ARE to participate in. So events and networking, one big bulk that is great to be part of. Then also the possibility to lead the agenda within technology and manufacturer circle. Basically, this circle started this September in Brussels. I think that Tech and Manufacturer Circle is a great platform to share the experience, also share the issues that we all encounter, and basically the idea is to formulate next steps and follow up, and also to leverage the opportunities of ARE further within their policy and advocacy possibilities. So this is also a great part how to connect with others and share knowledge and experience. We could basically lead the Tech and Manufacturer Circle together with Schneider Electric, so it was also a great way to connect with them. We could also, or we can be also part of capacity building activities, either online or hands-on. So we could participate on the online webinar for lectures of basically electricity subjects throughout universities in Africa and Asia, Southeast Asia. So that was great, and I'm sure that there are upcoming other opportunities. I think, for example, with other companies in the sector in Africa, and maybe now with formulating further agenda in Southeast Asia, that could be also other area for us. Then we are also appreciative of regular communication that ARE offers. So either weekly bi-monthly webinars, also the call for articles on different subjects. We also published different case studies on ARE's website, and we can also see that ARE is proactively posting on LinkedIn about us. So all these activities are great to us, and our colleagues maybe sometimes even should be more proactive themselves, not only just wait for ARE to come to us, but as it was also previously mentioned, that basically proactivity is the key, even from the side of a member, no matter how big they are. So that's the key point I should pass on, and thank you. That's everything from my side.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot for your kind words, Shaka. That was very well complemented and also put together based on 1 year of our cooperation together, and looking forward to many more years of cooperation. All right. Thanks a lot, Shaka. Now let me give the floor to Mr. Nicholas Rohrer, representing Asantys system. Nicholas, the floor is all yours. If you can please put your camera and audio on.
Do you hear me? Do you see me?
Loud and clear.
Very good. Hello, my name is Nicholas Rohrer.
Sorry, can't
Yes?
see you anymore. The camera is off again.
It's not off. It's on.
Nico. Okay, yeah, now it's on. Okay, all right, go on, please.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for this interruption. My name is Nicholas from the company Asantys Systems. Yeah, and today I have a testimonial from different sides. running a company together with my colleagues, 20 people company, and we're an EPC working in Africa and mini grids. We electrified more than 300 mini grids in the last 5 years. We did around 7,000 and plus projects in 56 countries worldwide, and very busy since 2009. And I often had the question, why should I go to ARE? Yeah. Because I was just reading the newsletter once, and I was asking myself, why should I pay to be a member if I'm just reading a newsletter? I will get this anyhow. And I asked my questions, should we stop paying and getting out? And I said, no, before you do this, you should engage yourself and see what is happening. Because ARE is giving us a lot of advantages that I didn't see before. And you had a run through all the activities ARE is doing. And in my opinion, this is far more than a company can use. So I wanted to give you an insight now. What do you actually use? What could you do? And how do we do it and how we use it? Because it is worth being in there. So the conclusion was, Nico, engage yourself. First step I did, I was really taking a look on ARE, and I had the luck to become a member of the board. So I had a closer look into what is happening and giving from our side, from our perspective, an input to an industry group and to move the sector in a way that you can influence it. And this was helping a lot and tremendously to get a networking platform where you have completely different perspective of what was happening before. I didn't know that ARE was so active, how it is structured, and what pressure groups are behind. And for me, it was always important that we want to form a pressure group because our off-grid sector is in the market niche. And so instead of yelling and saying, I'm unhappy, we said, hey, let's get in. And this was worth doing it. And while doing this, I discovered these numerous possibilities, and I couldn't find out that being a board member using ARE, I cannot do this alone. So I had a thought where before this meeting, I thought, oh, at least we have 4 to 5 people of our 20 people company who have different engagement with ARE. This is marketing department from us, which is working together with newsletters, webinars, these events which are great done, and LinkedIn. And I give you an example. I would say the strength of ARE would be a kind of cross-marketing. For us, it was important in our growth to be visible, to become visible. And then you suddenly appear as a member in newsletters. You are in a photo competition that we won, for example, last year, which was helping us to promote our CNI activities. We have had the LinkedIn postings and so on. And I would say during the decision of doing your own marketing, and together with ARE, we doubled our LinkedIn followers over the last 2 years. And other team members from Asantys are then in working groups. With this battery recycling that was mentioned, it's a cooperation from Asantys with a research institute, and that led into the ARE activities because we said at the association it's much better, so we can give our inputs and our point of view there. The ARE circles are mentioned. In total, I would say we cannot use everything, and it takes also time to use ARE. It takes time. It's time consuming, and as a board member, I'm having a lot to do, even if it's only some meetings per year. But it's reflection and engaging. Whatever I took my conclusion. I said, okay, do I stop paying for it, or do I have a real look on it if it is worth? And the conclusion was, you will not regret. You should do it. And I was like saying, comparing to other institutions, and I said, okay, we left one association in Germany and switched over to ARE because this is the footprint that we want as an off-grid specialist doing hybridization in Africa. And the multi-channel cross-marketing is for me the most important use. And the networking, it really allowed us to be with the players and to form a pressure group. And therefore, everybody should join because it's affordable and effective. That was short, 3 minutes, Deepak. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nico. That was short indeed, but quite effective, I would say. To the point.
Yeah, but everything is said.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and to become effective is also one of our tasks. Yeah, and we want to form a pressure group. Yeah.
Always, always. Thank you for your kind words, Nico. And that was the testimonials for you, dear members. So you have seen two different companies with different background, how they are making the best use of the ARE services and benefits that we have to offer. And it is only a time that we encourage you to do the same so that we, as the industry association of your choice, can do everything in our capacity to offer you the best in class promotion, the best in class services to make you stand out and become exclusive among your other counterparts.